I could get that done like a.
So like I was saying earlier, so we're going to do the new moon through the full moon with the transits in between. And I'm going to show you the process that I do for these videos. And then if we have time, we'll do like a synastry chart between like someone's natal and then the new moon or the full moon, and get a better idea of how it's going to impact you directly. So that's this class. So that way you guys can do your navigation that way. All right, so here's the new moon, which is coming up on the 21st. Then we have the full moon on April 5th. So full moon's going to be in Virgo. You guys see that or no? Or is it lagging? Good, it's good. Okay. What I'll do, you know what I'll do is shut my browser. I think that'll work, right? Yep. Yeah, my browser takes up a lot. Okay, so what's cool, okay, so now you got to glance at that full moon in Virgo. But what when I was writing, I saw some interesting stuff. So now let me just show you one thing. So we got full moon, new moon, and then in between all the transits from the 21st all the way up until the full moon, or a day after as well. So what I noticed, what's big here is this Mars trine Saturn right here. Yeah, you want to keep an eye. We're going to keep an eye out for this because this is long during the duration of the phases. So we want to keep an eye out. And just hang on a second. I'm going to close my side window because I have a lot of car traffic. Hang on a second. Okay. Sorry. All right. So yeah, so we're gonna look at that. So these are the transits in between that we'll kind of keep our eyes on. But now let's do the reading. Let's figure out what's happening. I'm gonna do the disappearing pen. First thing I notice, I'm sure you guys probably looked already, like this crazy stellium in Pisces. We see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets in Pisces. So you got Neptune, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Chiron, and Jupiter. So what does that tell you? There's something going on. There's visionary dreaming energies, intention to seed an idea, possibly because you got Mercury. So some messages seeding ideas. There is a healing aspect and an expanded aspect to that healing, or like we know, Chiron is the wounded healer teacher. So there's a healing aspect to the wounds that need to be healed, or the healing that needs to take place. So the team is set up, is what I'm seeing. Like the boys are out, like everyone's out. So, and then you have Venus now moves in Aries with Uranus and the North Node. So now we're looking at a bit. When you see Venus and Uranus, they call this the happy aspect. It's not showing conjunction, but it's in the same area. Let's see, North Node is conjunct Venus. Venus is the feminine aspect. It's in Aries, the masculine aspect. So now there's a little bit of, there could be some sort of balance there, feminine energy and the masculine aspect. And with the planet that is like free to do what we want, free to bring this to another level because you have a North Node here. And, I draw that symbol all the time with Venus, right? Circle, spirit over the cross, spirituality over matter. That's the feminine qualities. It values spiritual, energies over the matter, and Mars is the opposite. So all this is kind of lined up in the sky. So that's good. So new moon is going to be in Pisces, 10 degrees. I don't know what's tropical saying. Probably still Pisces, right? Is that I don't even know. I'm not keeping. You guys tell me. I don't know. But this is the trine I was talking about with Mars in Taurus. So that's what I noticed is there's polarities going on, dualities. This is because we're dealing with Pisces. So you see Venus is in Aries, right? The ruler of Aries is Mars. Mars is in Taurus. The ruler of Taurus is Venus. So they're dispositing each other. There's a balance going on. At the same time, there's a trine going on with Saturn in Aquarius. Aquarius ruled by Uranus, which is with Venus, which is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars, which Mars is in Taurus, ruled by Venus. So there's Saturn is in Uranus's house, pretty much. It's in the house that Uranus rules, which is Aquarius. So there is a new paradigm that's taking place. And you could even go as far as to call it a grand trine. I'll draw it out because it's hitting a south node. See? So you got these 3 points hitting a south node in Virgo, remembering how deep you want to go with Virgo. It depends. Virgo or organized, or Virgo, the divine goddess mother, sky goddess mother of all creation, the M, the Magdalene. Go as so far as we looked into the Knights Templar before. In a lot of ancient photos, you see them holding their fingers like this, and that means that they're M. They're protecting the Magdalene line. So you can go as far as that, as like protecting divine creation, whatever, right? It's possible we're looking at that. And when you're looking at Saturn and Mars, you're looking at Mars wants to take action. Saturn wants to control time. So no matter how great the aspects are between these two planets, if you're not paying attention to time, Mars is going to get tripped up. It's no matter what. And you can see, so I just want to point that out. So like people say, oh, okay, grand trine with Mars, Saturn, no matter what, if you're not paying attention here, you will get tripped up here. You'll go too fast. And then it's about south node. So remembering what it takes to create. Remembering what it takes to create, make a divine creation. So I think that's what we're looking at here. And then you can see here, the Mars, let me draw this solid. The Mars has a T-square with everything going on here. You see it's hitting the galactic center. There's no planet there, but it's still a point in the sky. It's the two masculine men in the sky. It's Ophiuchus here in the galactic center. And here, Alnihem. This is Orion. So this is the belt stars of Orion. I might be drawing that kind of messed up. These are the shoulders and the Betelgeuse or whatever, Bellatrix, then the 3 belt stars. That's my depiction of Orion. So they're opposite each other, but then so we're looking at something like that. So we're looking at a masculine energy of creation held together by these cosmic masculine gods, Orion and Ophiuchus are part of this T-square of creation and grand trine into goddess mother. So there's a lot, if you look, there's a lot of balance going on with the masculine and the feminine energies, cosmic and physical, right? And so there's a lot I'm seeing. So there's something that's like, hey, there's a new creation going on. Pay attention, set your intentions, and pay attention to the planetary influences and how they're going to play out with you. There's another T-square. Okay, so we got that first T-square. So let me erase a lot of this so we don't get confused. That is another T-square, which again, it's hitting the ascendant, so I wouldn't really go bananas like that. But it is, what's really square is Pluto and Venus right here. But you can see it's hitting the ascendant, but that's really, there's no planet here. I like to see a planet here in order to, because it's just an angle at this point. So, but you can see it forms a T-square, and you can actually see there's a mystic square that's possible that we're looking at with the nodes as well. So Pluto and the nodes and Venus. So that is like pretty intense energy. You want to look at it like that. If you want to count that in, we have a mystic square. And that, if you look at a mystic square, depending how you look at it, it's a diamond. Right? So I always say the pressure caused by the square, when you get the lesson of what the pressure is trying to bring on, then you become a diamond. And that's how diamonds are made, right? Through the pressure. So what is that pressure? Well, Pluto, higher truth of Sag, so Pluto, the truth seeker, now Pluto is dealing, it's squaring on Venus in Aries in North Node, right? Venus and the nodes. It's not hitting Uranus. So that's the dark, that could be the dark feminine. So that we could be looking at the Kali energy, which is okay. It's the destruction of the ego, right? Because that's what Kali does. She severs the heads of the egos and she wears them on her necklace. And she's holding a sword. And I actually made a connection with the Kali image to an image of Ramses III in the temple of Abu Simbel, where he's holding heads of the capture. He captures a lot of slaves, they say, and he's holding their heads. And he has the same knife, the sickle, as Kali. And you can look, the heads are kind of blissed out. They don't look tortured. And I made the connection because they have in the temple, one of the people of this captured so-called slaves have this mudra. And if you look up this mudra, it's called the Apana mudra. It means purification and elimination of impurities. So that's what Kali is doing too, alleviating the ego and the impurities of the ego. So I made that connection with an Egyptologist, also because on the head of one of the captures there was an angle of 23.5. So he's supposed to be smiting the enemy like this, but then what he's hitting into the enemy's head, it's something that has this 2 rods, and you measure the rods and they're 23.5. So what that tells me is that's removing ignorance. So they're not slaves, they are slaves to the ego, and they're having the egos removed by this practice of wisdom. So I made that connection. So this is kind of what we're looking at here with this Kali image, this Pluto, Venus, because you're dealing with Virgo, that's the goddess mother, and then Venus, that's also the feminine, and then Pluto and the higher truth is elimination of the impurities. So this is, so are you guys following along or what? Right? It's pretty real. It's a pretty real new moon. This is how this is how I look at new moon. This is how I look at all the charts that I work with. Okay. So let me erase this. Any questions so far on how I saw what I saw and putting it together and seeing what we see? You guys are good? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm understanding.
I'm sorry.
I'm good. I'm getting it. I'm understanding.
Oh, Dr. Jesus. Hey. Yeah. So it's always good, people, yeah, you always got to look at your aspects. That's really important because everything is intertwined. They're connected. We're connected through the magnetospheres of each planet with us. Where every planet is connected. So you have to look to see. Trying to see what's. I think that's it. Okay, so now let's move on to the full moon. So we're going to see, we're going to land. So this is a planting of a seed. So we see that there's obviously, you know, vision set, there's messages being received, there is removing of impurities, there is Mars, Saturn, you know, that is extreme success if you can pay attention to the times of Saturn. Saturn is in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. So there's a lot of, I see a lot of polarities that need to be respected and balanced in order to remove these purities. There's something that is showing us balance, the dualities, polarities, and it's has to do with Chiron in Pisces. We're all dealing with it. Danny and I did a talk before, right? This is the collective wound, you know, of separation, and that's literally what the symbol of Pisces is two fish going in different directions, but they're bound together by the string of matter. And half a circle in symbology is souls. Two souls are not necessarily unified, but they have to be if they're going to make any progress. So this is what we're working on. Okay, so now we look here. This is the new moon. This is the full moon, and it's in Virgo, which is where the south node was, which is where we had that grand trine going on, right? Was it the grand trine? So we can see here, it's the full moon. Yeah, Virgo, the sun is in Pisces with Jupiter, Chiron, North Node, Mercury. All right, so now we can see here, you can sort of, you still have like similar to this grand trine, but except this is kind of just hitting the midheaven, which is not a real point in the sky. I mean, it's just a point in the sky. It's not, there's no planet there. But then we can also see, again, that grand trine with Mars, Saturn, and the south node. All right. And if you look at it, it sort of makes like a Merkaba, you know, it's a little crooked. I can draw a little better if we want. So we were sort of looking at a Merkaba, and this is that star seed, Star of David energy. So it's just, it's actually pretty on. You see it? You guys see that? Right? So this is literally perfection. You know, it's slightly off, but it's two grand trines. You know, if this was just over here a little bit, it would be the exact Star of David. So this is about perfection, perfecting the star seed, you know, your original intentions. We all are considered star seeds. So you're in the middle here. So this is about remembering, right? So I think that's what the full moon is coming to, is the new moon is going to be a little bit of an intensity. These planets are going to bring in some intense energies. There's going to have to be a purification. And Kali is in the picture, you know, that's the Venus Pluto. Kali comes in and she's like, you know, you got to purify, man. You got to, you know, get ready. You got to bring in this new energy of perfection. You know, we are perfection. We are cosmic perfection. And even though it's slightly off, we can still see cosmic perfection. And I think that's the message here. Cosmic perfection, understanding our dualities, polarities, and where's the cosmic perfection and all of that. That, I believe, is the big message of this new moon and full moon. So do you guys see anything else or want to add something that maybe I missed?
Can I ask you a question about the Merkaba?
Yeah.
I always look in what signs it is.
Yeah.
So this was like the fire sign and the air sign, right?
Yeah, this can be, well, except, yeah. Well, it's almost,
Yeah, it's on the
Almost
border.
off-centered. It's, well, yeah, it's kind of like, right, yeah, again, perfection of being in the middle of it all. Look, all of
Yeah,
them
and it,
are like cuspy on signs. Is that what you noticed?
yeah, I was like, is it so? Do they hit like every element, or is it only like air and fire? Because then it would be focused on masculine energy, right?
Yeah,
If
interesting.
it's only air and fire, then that's more like a Merkaba connected to the masculine, I would say.
Hmm.
But I was looking at it, or is it is it hitting like every element? Because that would
Yeah,
be perfection, right? So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we can go. Let's go with elements. So for the class, to fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. This is the ether.
Mhm.
This is AE, ether, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. So yeah, this is like right in between A and E. Wow, interesting. AE, how I wrote ether, that's how you spell it. This is
Mhm.
between A and E. Wow. You're good. Okay. This is between water and no, this is between A and E,
Uh-huh.
A and E. Holy shit.
So what
I
does that mean?
well, let's keep going with it.
Yeah.
This is between earth and fire. Okay, hold on. All right, let's do one at a time. Hang on a second, okay? Let's
It's
do one
earth,
at a time.
fire, earth, fire, earth,
Yeah,
fire.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do, and then we erase. So we have this Merkaba here. I mean, this grand trine going up. So then that's
Because
hitting.
it's not a perfect Merkaba, but maybe it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is
In yeah.
hitting. This is on the cusp between fire and earth. This is on the cusp between fire and earth.
Mhm.
This is on the cusp between fire and earth. So the
Yeah.
Merkaba coming from earth. So pyramid power, we know we can. I spoke with you guys about pyramid power, right? It's you want to go centripetal, so you can go clockwise from the base up. So coming from the base, Earth, going to the midheaven. So we're bringing in the elements of earth and fire. That right? We're bringing in earth and fire
Mhm.
from the earth. So we're bringing in fire, earth energy, and we're bringing it to the ethers, to heavens. That's how I look at Merkabas. What you're bringing from the earthly plane into the higher plane. So you bring in fire. It looks to me, fire and earth. I mean, you guys agree on that? Is that right?
Yeah, and that's both like masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah,
Fire
fire
is
and earth.
masculine,
Yeah,
and that's what we see with
mhm.
Venus in the
Yeah, the
place
Mars.
of
Mhm,
Mars, and Mars in
mhm,
the home place of
mhm,
Venus.
mhm,
And I noticed it already for a couple of months that something is going on between. At
mhm,
least that's how I looked at it for me
mhm.
personally. Like, whoa. So to me, it was. I see this with the animals. So for me, the masculine energy is my horse, and the feminine energy is the deer that showed up in his meadow. Like that kind of symbolism. And then I
Mhm.
saw this joining up in my chart also. And now I see it again. So that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's perfection with the elements. I think we're being called to work with that. So now let's do the
Mhm.
other one. Okay, so we went up. Now let's do this grand trine going down. So usually when I do this way, this is from the heavens to the earth. What are you bringing from the ethers, rooting down the earth? And of course, we're Saturn. We're hitting Saturn. Saturn is the ultimate crystallization. This is that square. This is the
Yeah.
diamond that comes out of pressure. So okay, now we want to look to see we're in between AE, right? So this was the AE, right? So we're bringing, this is between, yeah, between AE, Earth, AE, AE. And that's the ether. So you spell ether like that.
Yeah.
That's the element of the fucus, the galactic center. Ether. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So it's possible that we're figuring out perfection with the elements so we can understand the ethers. And if you remember, that new moon was like, had the stellium with Neptune, and that's also pulling from the ethers. Neptune with Sun and Mercury is pulling energies from the unknown ethers, trying to understand these big messages that we're getting. Trying to listen. Yeah, this is crazy. I didn't expect to do this, by the way. I don't know, like, I didn't expect the ether thing to pop up. It's just, this is what happens when you're working in a group setting. It's like,
Yeah.
and what is it? It's Mars. It's that masculine energy in air signs, right? Because Mars in Gemini, but it's on the cusp. Well, yeah, it's on the cusp, right? It's on the cusp of the houses that are, yeah, ether. Wow. Yeah.
I
But
mean,
it's
who is going to figure this out, right? I mean, you know,
Say it again?
like, who is going to figure this out?
Yeah.
Which astrology weirdos are going to see this? I mean,
Only
I'm
people
a
like
little
us.
bit blown away right now. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
like us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like right on the houses that cross over. Yeah. This is okay. Wow. So let's erase all of this and figure out. Now let's look at the transits. Now we know what we're coming into. We're coming into some type of perfection. So then next step is, okay, you figure one out, you figure the beginning, the end, and now we go, well, what's in between? Because this is yeah, like it reminds, I always relate everything to boating. So like here you can be like in Miami when I remember sailing to Bahamas, like, okay, we're in Miami. This is Miami. All right, it's great. Bahamas is right over there. It's only whatever miles. It's not even a lot of miles when you look at it that way, but you're crossing what's called the Gulf Stream. And if you time it wrong, you have the worst ride of your life, which I timed it wrong. I had the worst ride of my life. so it's like, here's point A, here's point B. Oh, it's easy. Okay, but what's in between? This is called navigation now. Now you're gonna navigate all the stuff in between, and that can make the ride good or bad. So this is what we want to look at. This is what we look at the transit. So this is starting from the 21st, going all the way to the 6th, a day after. So we can see we're just ending a Sun-Pluto sextile. So Sun, Pisces, and the Pluto is in Sag. So we're just ending this type of intense energies with that. And now we jump into, we're going to intensify just for 2 days. Mercury conjunct Chiron. Then right after that, Mercury will conjunct Jupiter. This is all going on in Pisces. And most importantly, the big one is this date, 28th through the 2nd, is Mars goes exact on the 30th and 1 degree of orb in between these two dates. That's the Saturn trine with Mars that we talked about, timing. So this is the time that you really want to calculate and pay attention to everything here. Timing and what, you know, everything having to do with the right time, the right energies, you know, when to apply. Calculating timing should be really taking place over here these days, 27th through the second, pretty much. And then you got Mars sextiles the nodes, Saturn sextiles the nodes right after that. So that's just going on the path. So they're unified when they go on the path here as well. So there is going to be an energy then puts you on path. And then Mercury squares on Pluto on the 2nd, goes exact on the 3rd, ends on the 4th. So for 2 days, we're going to be dealing. And this is the energy of this is sometimes, this is hidden information. The last full moon, we saw this as the spy. So there'll be something that is not, something that needs to be weeded out, that is not doing, it's bad information, it's bad technology, bad kinks, whatever it is, will be yes, I'm coughing. This is like the purging. Like that will happen, like needs to come out at that time. So whatever is not doing well, not fitting, comes out. And then Sun conjunct Chiron. And then here you have Mercury with Saturn in the nodes. And then Saturn in the nodes. So this is when you would put logic of time into use towards the end. And that's where you have the full moon. And Saturn is about completion. And you can see before we were looking at the Saturn Mars trine. So this is about mastering completion, coming to create something and completing something. So towards the end, you're gonna have a logical look at all of this stuff. And yeah. So I think that's it. What do you guys think of that? Good? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to pause the recording.